Did I ask you whether the journey to Canada has been worth it?
Oh, well, sort of.
I inferred
In
the
yes,
beginning. But now tell us in details.
in details.
Raising your children here,
Oh,
your marriage, has
yeah.
things changed?
Yeah.
Tell us everything.
This is the point where if you're in the valley of indecision, I want you to look me in the eye because we are in the moment of truth. When we were leaving Nigeria, my husband had put in 15 years into his banking career. So he was not a baby banker. He was a financial analyst. He had worked across organizations. He had been with Access, FBN, Sterling, Intercontinental, a whole lot of big banks. When we came here, we came to start from zero. But we had our
That didn't scare you?
No, it was something that we knew coming from where we were coming from, that we were going to be starting afresh again. I mean, we were not coming with our couches or mattresses. We just came with a few pots.
You pack all your life into 23 pages too.
Yeah. And we made a decision that no matter what, we were not going to quit. That was the first thing that we told ourselves, that no matter how hard it gets, we're not going to quit. So, the good thing for us was we had a church family. Our pastor back home linked us with our current pastor here. He was just very friendly when we came, but one thing we did not do was keep to ourselves or isolate. We didn't come with the mentality of Nigerians are very bad people abroad. You cannot mix with them. Everybody that my husband saw at the bus stop, at the store, anywhere, Service Canada, eHealth, as soon as he sees the color of your skin, he's coming to meet you. Hello, how are you? I'm Nigerian. I just landed. What's up? Show me the way. This man got a job 2 weeks of landing.
Just 2 weeks. Guys, did you hear that one?
In fact, in the 2 weeks that he got the job, we were still trying to sort out health card. All those things that you have to do at first
week, second week.
And everything, yes.
He got a job. Simply because he didn't just stay on his own. He socialized, he networked. He leveraged on his social network. Just the first 2 weeks of arriving in Canada. Exactly. I just thought I should highlight that.
And then there were things that we had written, of course, because like I said, we're believers, we're Christians. And there are things that we had written as prayer requests before God, that these were the things that we wanted God to do for us within the first 3 months of landing. And we came here in October, and by December 31st, I was telling my husband that, do you know it's not even been 3 months and God has done everything on this list already. Everything that we asked God for before we landed here, God had already done it. And it wasn't even 3 months yet. And then when people talk about raising children here, if your children are going to be badly behaved, that's what they will become anyway. I don't think it's so much a function of the society as the values that you instill in them from the house, right? There's a favorite part of the Bible that my husband and I hold dear to heart about our children. We talk to them about the values that we're convinced and that we have a conviction in. Every time we talk about it in the mornings, in devotion, at night, when we're driving. They are practically registered in every club. That your daughter was one of the people that was in the camp last year, right? Yes.
So the camp my children went, children were there?
Yes. They've been going to the Rosewood, the summer camps. So those are the intentional ways that we've made sure that God is a constant factor in their life. And if we were in Nigeria, we will do the same.
Even when you don't worship there, the children go to that.
Yes.
Camp. That is intentional. Being intentional. I like that.
We're not members of the Rosewood Alliance Church. Yes, but my children go there for the summer camp because really we know that is a house of God. Yeah. And they have wonderful programs for kids.
For children.
We are intentional about their attending children's Bible study every Tuesday. It's called Club DJing. Yeah. There are different kind of programs that they go for. If there's a summer camp somewhere that I feel that the children will benefit from, we take them there. And then as regards my marriage, I just have this very strong feeling that if we didn't come to Canada at the time we did, I may not have had a marriage today. And this is why I say that.
Seriously? That's the opposite. Because some people say you come to Canada or abroad and the marriage is on the fringe.
Yeah, I say that because as at the time, remember I was talking about being headhunted for a project in South Africa.
I remember.
I don't know that my husband would have given me that permission, and I'm a very career focused person. I was at that time, and even up until now, I was at a stage where I have this urgency to do what I have to do now, like make hay while the sun shines. So I doubt that if he had told me you don't have permission to go, I would have remained in the marriage. I would have called his bluff and walked out. I would have
that strong-headed.
Well, I would have called his bluff, but coming to Canada and seeing the sacrifices this man has made for me. I remember how when I had our baby, like I said,
did you have a baby in Canada?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
and if you
boy?
haven't, yes, my youngest.
Oh my
if you
God.
haven't had, if you've had one child and you're looking to have another, please come and compare.
Don't have a baby there yet.
Come and compare the Canadian way of having a baby and the Nigerian way.
For those that are still having babies,
that God is good. Like I told you, I worked until December 31st. I was working in obstetrics before I switched to cardiosciences. So I know firsthand what it is like to have a baby here as a healthcare provider and as a patient. So this man gave up.
I feel like having a baby, guys, but I have 5 children, for God's sake.
No, so don't have another one. Let's wait for your kids to have that experience.
Okay.
So my husband gave up 2 months of work to do Omugo for me.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Here in Canada.
Yes, he gave up. People say EI, right?
Yes.
That he would have he was on EI, but
Insurance.
yes, employment insurance. So he took paternity leave technically just to, because I had to go to school. I was in school full time. I was doing 18 credit hours, and it meant that I had to commit to school every day from 8 to 4. And my baby was barely 6 months old at the time. So somebody had to, I can't even take this baby to daycare. Somebody had to stay at home, and this guy offered to do that. So sometimes when I look at that sacrifice, somebody who could do that for me, if he asks me not to go for any job, I don't think he's asking for too much. So that's why I say, because I didn't see that he could have made this sacrifice for me in Nigeria. The first thing I would do is call his bluff. Yes. Well, in Nigeria, we had daycare, we had all of those, we had crèches,
nannies,
exactly.
Family members staying with you.
Yeah, so that was not a problem. But Canada has really strengthened my marriage. And if you ask me,
I like that.
I
Different
don't think,
strokes for different folks, guys.
I don't think that's, I don't know if he would have made that sacrifice way back, but he did it here, and I'm so impressed.
Wow.
And it just kind of drew us closer. And then the communication, the way we talk about finances now, the way we make plans together, in Nigeria, with what he was earning and what I was earning, he was up there, I was here.
Together. He does this
Exactly.
thing.
Exactly. And my money was my money, his money was his money. But
in Nigeria,
yes.
But it's our money now. See, Canada system has a way of making people become one. Real one.
We're one now. Like, we do things together, we talk to each other. We've just become like way closer than we used to be.
In Nigeria.
And at our 10th anniversary, I was telling him that I really look forward to doing another decade with you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Guys.
Like, I look forward to doing another decade with him.
Oh my God.
And then another one after that. And then another one after that.
Oh my God, another decade. Another decade.
And then another one after that.
50th wedding anniversary by the grace of God.
Jesus tarries. Amen.
If Jesus tarries, guys. Thanks for sharing that. It's so nice. As this video is progressing, it might be part 1 and 2. So stay tuned. What about the nursing career? Has it been a rewarding career? Have we talked about that? No.
No, we
talk about the transition.
Yeah.
And life in Canada has it been worth it? But what about that
nursing career? Yeah. So when you become a nurse in Canada, most people say it's for the money. I agree, because
but there's money.
There's
because
money.
You look like money. You look like a mega bug.
Not that kind. It's not that kind word. I agree that there's money in nursing, and it's, for me, it goes beyond the financial rewards. You never know how much of a blessing you've been to someone until they hold your hands and they tell you thank you. Thank you for what you've done. I've seen people
Okay.
who were so close to death that they were hanging by the shreds, and just because you chose to do something right, you're intervening, you're looking at them, you're making sure that they're getting the kind of care that they should get, you're communicating with the doctor timely, monitoring all of their vitals, the interventions you're supposed to do, and then God swings things in their favor and they are restored to life, and then they tell you thank you. I don't think it's just the 40 something dollars per hour that you get paid that
Yeah.
makes it worth it. There are days that it can be a little overwhelming. Like I said, when I worked in obstetrics and we had to do like stillbirths, for example. There were days like that when, but even getting to hold the hand of those couples through their trying times and letting them know that they're not alone in their grief, a lot of those things matter. I came into nursing in the thick of COVID, like when COVID was a thing, and one of the first places where I worked was a COVID unit. So I had lots of old people who were dying, and their family members were not here. They needed people to hold their hands when they were going to the other side, because it would have been cruel for them to just
So as a
cross
nurse, you hold people's hand when they are transiting?
until they take their last
If
breath.
people go.
Yeah. And then you pronounce them dead, but you're comforted that they didn't in their last moments they were not alone, because family could not be there, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah, so
What a career.
it's very rewarding. And then the things again that I know about health, of course.
Yes.
People say when you ask a nurse, what do you see in my eyes? They don't see love. They see
Anatomy.
Exactly. They see
biology.
They say, do you have Apollo? Do you have all of those things when they look at your face? So like I tell my husband, I'm your number one advocate for living healthy, because I know the many things that can happen to a man your age. And so I'm going to watch, so I'm going to watch what you eat. I'm going to watch your lifestyle, make sure that you're on time with your physical examinations, all of these things that
So guys, let me pick one there. Physical examinations. When last did you do physical examinations with your doctors? Are you past 40 years as a woman or a man? This is from a nurse. Guys, listen. So physical examination is very, very important, because that is where things that would have gone south are caught on time. Please do one. Let's do better this year.
Yeah, I've become an advocate for health. In 2021 also, I started talking about safety sections for women. I have a Facebook page dedicated, Facebook group dedicated to that, just enlightening people, women generally, about women's health and how we can do better as a people. When people say you deliver like the Hebrew woman, and you're not Hebrew, you're Nigerian.
Yeah. What does that even mean?
Yes. So, all of those things are stuff that I have started to advocate for. So it's a rewarding career. The best thing about being a nurse for me is that I'm not restricted. When you work as in a certain career, for example, they say this is the only place where you can work.
Yeah.
Nurses can work anywhere now.
Wow.
Like practically anywhere. Okay, so we work in occupational health, we work in the military, we work in the hospital, we work in schools. Like I just told you now that I work in a medical daycare, because there are kids who have medical challenges, kids who are maybe born with type 1 diabetes, need insulin titrated during the day.
So nurses are in schools to just take care of kids.
Just to take care of those kind of kids. Kids who maybe respond.
And in those environments, they pay you like you were in the hospital?
Yeah.
Same band?
Yes. We all have the same. Yeah, we all have the same. Whether you're a member of the union or not, like there's a minimum that they'll be willing to pay a nurse. So all of those things, like,
this is so nice to know that you are not restricted to the medical field because you're a nurse. You can work in practically any industry as long as there is provision for that.
I have friends who work with the blood donation services. I have friends who work with the air ambulance. So they're not at the bedside. They're just flying from place to place.
Wow.
Yeah, a whole lot of things that you could do as a nurse that is not bedside related. So
Wow.
Yeah, you don't have to stay in the hospital, and if you're scared of giving injections, we don't really give injections in Canada.
And dressing wounds.
Yes.
Some people are scared because
No,
of coming in contact with such
we
things.
have ostomy nurses that are dedicated to dressing wounds, wound dressing, wound changes. Those are ostomy nurses. So if that's what you want to specialize in, fine and good. But if not, there are
so here in Canada, they specialize in different fields. But you know, the Nigerian nurses or African nurse, you do everything. You can even do surgery sometimes. Don't come for me. Don't go for me. But did I lie? Nurses are like jack of all trades. They don't even dress the wound, they give the injection.
They don't own their
Did you
own
hear that there are
pharmacies.
people? Thank you. They have private practice at home.
Yes.
Nurses, I'm sorry, but this video was for you guys. I'm not calling names, and I'm not throwing shades, but you know what I mean. No. You guys are overloaded with so many responsibilities, job description, and every other they put at the bottom, and every other role. But here they specialize.
Yes.
Specialize. So it's so good to know that. Did we talk about what it takes to transition?
To transition, no. We just talked about if you want to come into nursing. But I want to say, if you're an internationally educated nurse, there's a different pathway.
Okay, tell us.
Into getting your license here. There's a different pathway. So when you come, there's a letter that there's a way that your credentials are assessed, and there are documents that you have to come with from the Nursing Council. I think it's the NMCN in Nigeria. Yes, you have to come with a document from them. Then when you come here,
that's Nigerian Midwifery Council and National Midwifery Council of Nigeria.
Yeah. Okay. And then when you get here, there are documents that already show your expertise and levels of education and everything from back home. But Canadian nursing and Nigerian nursing are like this. They are
worlds apart, guys.
They are worlds apart. They are not alike at all.
Wow.
The education system is different. They have a health population here, the indigenous people that you do not know about in Nigeria, that you have to learn about when you come here.
And get certified. Like in my office, I am certified on indigenous truth and reconciliation and everything.
So
it's mandatory.
Yes, it's mandatory for everybody, because these are the people that you will meet in the hospitals to take care of. So you have to know their history, where they are coming from, what has led to the kind of decisions that is making them live the way they do now.
And how to now take care of them.
Thank you.
And without those certifications, you can relate.
No, you can't.
You can't know what to expect.
You really can't.
Or what to give.
No, you're going to be doing it from a place of judgment instead of a place of empathy.
Exactly.
And then you still have to take the NCLEX, and then you still have to do a few OSCEs, because we use different stuff. The kind of IV tubing that is used in Nigeria is not what is used here. The kind of cannulas that is used in Nigeria is not what is used here. A whole lot of different things. You have to do a couple of classes, and then take your licensing exam, and then you have your license. There are many people who have done it. And if you want and these requirements change from year to year, but that's like the standard.
The basic standard.
Yeah.
So if you're coming with an international degree, you can do the bridge program. She did 2 years, or depending on what you're coming with. And you've heard everything. Don't forget the parts. I heard something about later from the council. So get your later as well. Don't forget to get your scratch card for WAEC. So those are things we should jot down as we are listening to this interview with my friend.
And there's something I also forgot to mention, very important: transcript. So whichever school you went to, because again, like I mentioned, if you've done a course before in Nigeria, they can waive it when you get here. Say microbiology or biology, for example, which is basically the same all over the world. Biology is biology.
It's same curriculum.
Yeah, so they can waive that for you, and that means you don't have to pay. In Nigeria, we pay school fees for like the entire session.
Yeah.
Here in the university, they pay school fees per course. So if you get a waiver for one course, it means you won't be paying
money for that.
Yes,
you're saving money.
You're saving money. So it's very good for you to come with your transcript. If you have a breakdown of the curriculum, in fact, come with it so that when you show them, they will know this person has done this before. They don't have to take the course again. It saves you money and it saves you time.
Does that mean that when they evaluate your degree and send your everything, you have your report, you should still get, you know that, like me, I use West because I'm not a nurse.
Yes.
Right? So West has my transcript, my certificate, and at the end of the day, I got a report from them.
Yeah.
In between, with that report, I should still get my transcript in my bag.
So you will contact your school to send a transcript to, they want an official copy. So even if you present a student's copy, that only gives you, that only helps you to buy time. At the end of the day, they will still ask your school,
the official one,
to send them the official one without your own interference, not coming through you. Because again, I mean, people say we are Nigerians, right? And we can do and undo, if you understand what I mean.
Even if you are credible because of just that background
that we already have. So they want something from your school,
from the school
officially. So if you know someone that knows someone that can help you get on your transcript.
Do you know somebody who knows somebody? Continue. That song just came.
So help. You can tell them to help get your transcript, to smoothing things over for you. But overall, please do not be scared of the process. It's a fun one. I see learning as fun. I mean, something you don't know that you're coming to know.
She's a prof.
You're just adding.
She wrote a book, by the way. I'll put that book on the side of this. It's an interesting one, guys. And we're expecting part 2 or something.
Oh yeah,
a sequel.
Yeah, something in the works.
I trust that. She's a prof material. I wanted to ask you, so what advice do you have for people coming to Canada? But I see we've touched it here and there in this interview. Who may have doubt regarding leaving their comfort zones, family, job, to move to a new country. But I know you've said some things, but this is official.
Yeah. So
what's your advice and parting words?
I'll just say that if you have the conviction from God, again, I encourage you not to do anything or not to take that kind of step without God. Because you don't want to explain until you have no evidence, right? So if you have a conviction from God that this is what you should be doing at this time in your life, please do it. The reason is because whether or not you move to Canada, for those of us who say we're old, whether or not
here in our age,
whether or not you move to Canada, you become 50. Whether or not you move to Canada, you'll be 55.
Interesting.
Now, I want us to look back, because we think we're going to stay young forever, we'll work or we're secure in our jobs. I want you to look back, to look down ahead to 20 years to come with what the world is like right now. Are you able to have the level of comfort that you want and be secured, knowing that the country you're in right now, I'm not going to mention just one, has a system that can sustain your health in a time of crisis, your safety, housing security, and a means of income
long term?
Because if you look at the way the world is going now, many countries are slowly evolving into depression, and there is no guarantee that things are going to get better. For systems that work, such as Canada, thank God, there are plans in place. There are long-term plans, right? And for systems that do not work, and I'm not going to mention names, you don't want to wake up one morning and find out that when you could have made a move 10 years ago,
you said no, you were okay.
You didn't, you were okay. And I'm going to give you a quick example. You know, my brother-in-law, in 2014, he went to apply for a visa, and he stated his income in dollars. And then he went again, I think like last year or thereabout, and he stated his income in dollars. And the officer was asking him and saying, but you said you got promoted and you've moved from this level to this level. How come you're earning lesser than you were previously? And you know, you just want to think about it. Every time I see how much money we spend on healthcare here, and people don't have to pay anything for it. You know, somebody's going for a heart surgery and you hear that stent is $7,000 and they're not paying a dime. And you hear that mechanical valve is $30,000 per one, and they're not paying a dime.
They can even put two.
Yes.
If need be.
And they're not paying a dime. You know, somebody is driving down the road and they have a heart attack or they have chest pain. They come into the hospital. From there, they don't have to. They clear the table for surgery. That same day, they're getting their surgery. You know, and then for things that people die for in other parts of the world, that I refuse to mention again because I honor my fatherland.
Yeah.
So if you think about all of these things, some of us say we are moving here for our children. I agree that children deserve a good life, but sometimes move here for your own sake, because soon you're going to be 65 and then 68.
Do you have long-term plans, or the system there, does it have a long-term plan for you?
Or do you want to be like my father that just shouted headache, 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 and then he was
Your
gone?
brother died just like that headache.
Yeah.
Jamaica.
It was subarachnoid hemorrhage. Of course, he was stroking. But even when he went to the hospital, because there was no proper diagnosis and everything, so people just say, he just had a headache and died.
Oh, stress.
He didn't just have a headache. Yeah, he didn't just have a headache and died. He was stroking, but of course, they didn't have the diagnostic tools to find out what that was. So if you think about things like that, not just for your children, and your children will be fine, okay? Yeah. But what about you? What about you? I want you to think about it. What about you? And if you're worried about what your children will become tomorrow, I hope you know that whatever your children will become is in the hands of God. The Bible says to train up a child in the way he should go. It didn't say train up a child inside of a particular location, just in the way that they should go. So that training can be done from the comfort of your home. Yeah. And God will help us. If you're still in the valley of indecision, like I said, look me in the eye. You won't regret it. Make the move today. And
we just one or two persons that this video today has convinced or made them to, to improve their life or their decision. Yeah. I'll be happy from where I am now in the beautiful city of Regina with my sister. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for coming to grace this channel.
I'm so honored.
And I'm so honored that you are the first of my channel. Thanks a lot. If you have any questions or whatever you want us to cover for next one, or any question for her, throw it in the comment section. We will do justice to it. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. We do not take it for granted. Please share it with your families, your friends, and recommend us. And God bless you. See you on the next one.
Thank you, and bye.